Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 10th February 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. Some of you might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars. But we are providing complete free training. All the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. You can access all the training lessons at our homepage by clicking the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the Community tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. All training videos are available here. You just need to start your training from first lesson. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one according to the training instructions I mentioned at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Please join at our Telegram channel. At the top of the window, you will find pinned messages. Click on the pinned messages. There you can find all the training instructions I have mentioned. So follow the training instructions and learn the course. Then next 3 months time period, you will become a very good independent trader. Please make use of this opportunity. Okay, now let me generate the reports with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. First, I am finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Also, price closed inside demand and supply zones for higher time frames. So, starting with yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, and before that, let me tell you, I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report and then proceed to the next reports. In case if you did not understand the structure of these reports, please complete the training lesson 21.1 in our training course. In that video, I have explained every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next, yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Next time frame is a half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next, half yearly time frame. Stocks near half yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Half yearly time frame. Price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. 6 stocks are filtered. Next, half yearly time frame. Price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. 3 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 35 stocks. First 23 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 35 stocks. But we can further filter this list by setting high probability parameter EMA Confluence. So quarterly demand zones having quarterly EMA Confluence stocks we can filter because the list is big. So I am adding the filter EMA Confluence at quarterly time frame. Quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence filter is enabled, and a trend in the quarterly time frame should not be sideways, because EMA confluence doesn't make any sense in a sideways market. EMA confluence makes sense only in the trending. That's why I'm selecting up or down, and let me filter. Now the list is come down to 22 stocks. So these 22 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. Okay, next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, how many supply zones, quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence? Let us verify. So in the EMA confluence at a quarterly time frame, I am setting the filter quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. Trend on the quarterly time frame is up or down. With these filters, we got 3 stocks out of 4. So these 4 quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. So this is about quarterly time frame. Next time frame is monthly. For monthly time frame, stocks near monthly demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, monthly time frame, stocks near monthly supply zone, we got 5 stocks. Next, monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly demand zone, we got 43 stocks. First 19 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, so total 43 stocks are filtered. Out of these 43, how many of these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let us filter based on that. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, and trend on the monthly time frame either up or down. With these filters, we got 18 stocks. These 18 monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Okay, next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Out of these 9, how many monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let us filter. Going back, in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence, and the trend on the monthly time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. Okay, this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 17 stocks. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks we got. Okay, next, weekly time frame. Stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got 73 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So out of these 73, how many weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence? Let us find those stocks. High probability setup, weekly demand zones. So in the EMA confluence at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. And trend on the weekly time frame is either up or down. So with these filters, from 73 we got 14 stocks. So these 14 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence and current price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Okay, this is about weekly time frame. Price closed inside weekly demand zone and also having EMA confluence. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside weekly supply zone. We got 19 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 19 stocks are filtered. Out of these 19, how many of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence? Let us find those high probability supply zones, weekly supply zones. So in the EMA confluence, at a weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence and trend on the weekly time frame either up or down. With these filters, we got 8 stocks from 17. These 8 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. Some of the supply zones are pierced supply zones. You can use pierced zone strategies, land in lesson 28. Okay, this is about weekly time frame. Next time frame is daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 22 stocks. So let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. CAMS is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. HDFC AMC, high liquidity demand zone. Manappuram is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. Muthoot Finance is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. NBCC is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. OIL is pierced zone. Polycab is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. So that's it. We have identified 6 high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Okay. Next, daily time frame. Let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Jubilant Foods is a pierced zone. We can't use it for HLQ strategy. If anybody want, you can use pierced zone strategies on that. Muthoot Finance is having a high liquidity daily supply zone. That's it. We have only one valid high liquidity daily supply zone from this list. Okay, next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone. We got 61 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 61 stocks. Out of these 61, how many of these daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence? Let us identify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, and the trend on the daily time frame either up or down. With these filters, we got 20 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Nifty 50 is also having daily demand zone, having daily EMA Confluence. Already tested once and 3 times price closed inside the zone, daily candles in the past. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So total 20 stocks are filtered. Okay. Next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks where price closed inside the daily supply zone. So total 21 stocks are filtered. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Total 21 stocks are filtered. Out of these 21, how many daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence? Let us identify. Going back, in the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence, and trend on the daily time frame should be either up or down. With these filters, I got 7 stocks. These 7 daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence. Okay, this is about a daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 15 stocks. Next, 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 10 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 13 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Nifty oil and gas, but it is not listed in F&O. So I am leaving this. Okay, Atul is having a daily high liquidity. Atul is having 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Next, Hindustan Copper is having a high liquidity demand zone. Next, Page Industries is having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. and Zydus Life is having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. We identified 4 high liquidity, high priority, high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Okay. Next, for 75 minutes time frame, stocks near 75 minute supply zone, we got 10 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minute supply zones from this list. Aurobindo Pharma is having a high liquidity 75 minute supply zone. GNFC is having a high liquidity supply zone. Sriram Cement is having a high liquidity supply zone. Tata Consumer is having a high liquidity 75 minute supply zone. So we identified 4 high liquidity 75 minute supply zones from this list. Okay, that means we have identified high liquidity zones from daily and 75 minutes time frame. Okay, next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone, we got 10 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone, we got 7 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Okay, let us identify zone confluence. How many of these zones are having zone confluence? So that is a 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence, ITF zone confluence. We got 4. But second stock is a piercer zone, not useful. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame. Stocks near 15 minutes supply zone, we got 10 stocks. Out of these 10, how many of these LTF supply zones are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us identify. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. Now let's filter. We got 5 stocks. So these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with the 75 minute supply zone. These are 15 minutes supply zones. And out of these 5, 2 are pierced supply zones. We can't use them. 3rd and 4th. Okay, this is about 15 minutes time frame. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone, we got 9 stocks. Out of these 9, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. Sorry, demand zone confluence. These are the stocks near demand zone confluence. 5 minutes with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. So with this filter, we got 2 stocks. That means both these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Okay, next 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone, we got 7 stocks. Out of these 7, how many supply zones are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. We got 2 stocks. And in that first one is a piercer supply zone, not useful. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next we will generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain starting with monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is a Nifty monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. For higher time frames, you can use pierced zone strategies also, as you learned in lesson 28. Always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. So this is the way you can understand remaining supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Okay, next, daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Nearest demand zone for the closing price is 17. Nearest supply zone is 16th. Okay, next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Nearest closing demand zone to the current price is 29th. Let me put it in the center by scrolling the list down. Okay, next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All are supply zones. Let me scroll the list down to get the demand zones, and then we will keep the nearest demand zone in the center. Okay, 46, serial number 46 is the nearest demand zone for the current closing price. I am scrolling the list down, and let me keep this demand zone in the center, so that you know equal number of demand and supply zones. Okay, so this is about 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Okay, next we will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. So I am going back. Let me change the name to Nifty Bank. That is nothing but Bank Nifty. Starting from monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Nineteenth is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center by scrolling some more. Okay. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. The nearest demand zone for the current closing price is 26. Let me put it in the center by scrolling the list. Okay. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. So we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty. And the next set of reports are about bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. Let me start with the bullish trade setup monthly income trade. So entry time frame is daily. Entry zone should be demand zone for bullish trade setup. And in bullish or bearish trade setup, for entry time frame daily, I am selecting bullish. And let me set two filters. First filter is zone achievement should be violated, opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score is 12. So with these filters, let us identify how many we get. We got 16 stocks currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zone is daily demand zone. Look into the search filter always. This is our entry time frame daily and entry zone demand zone and zone achievement VOZ, odd enhancer score 12, and bullish or bearish trade setup we generated for entry time frame daily as a bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. So these 16 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Out of these 16, how many are having ITF Confluence? Based on that, let us further filter this list to add high probability to get success. We are using this zone Confluence. See, some of these zones are already high liquidity zones. That is what you should understand. Apart from that, we are filtering based on the zone Confluence. Zone Confluence first filter is LTF and ITF. Second filter is LTF, ITF, HTF. As you land in lesson 28 or 26, sorry, 27. Lesson 27, I explained the strategies. Okay, in the demand zone confluence parameter, this is demand zone confluence. I am setting the filter LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. LTF is daily, ITF is weekly. So daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence filter I am enabling. Once the filter is enabled, let us identify. We got 9 stocks. Out of 13, the list is come down to 9. So these 9 daily demand zones are having confluence with weekly time frame. See the filter. Demand zone confluence, weekly and daily together. That means in all these 9 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. That means they are part of weekly. Daily is part of weekly. And weekly trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. Because the trend is up, now we can look for weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence or not. If they are having, those zones could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. So in the EMA confluence at weekly time frame, why weekly? Because the daily zone is part of the weekly zone. That's why we are looking for whether weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence or not. So let's verify. We got 4 stocks. So these 4 are even more high probability trade setup supported zones for monthly income trade, bullish trade setup. This is based on LTF and ITF's demand zone confluence. So next filter is LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. All 3 together should overlap with each other. So I am removing this ITF EMA confluence because now we should focus on HTF. So in the demand zone confluence, I am adding 3 filters. First filter is already we set the filter, daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Second filter is daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Third filter is weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence, we got 2 stocks. So that is what daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. What does it mean? This daily zone is part of the weekly zone, both together part of the monthly zone. And monthly trend is up in both these stocks. If any of these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let us identify. If both these zones are having monthly EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter. Monthly demand zone is having monthly EMA confluence or not. With this filter, we got both the stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. So this is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bearish. And these daily supply zones, we should set the filter zone confluence as violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhance score 12. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. Currently, these 4 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. Out of these 4, how many of these daily supply zones are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is daily and weekly supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, the daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. Out of these 3, how many of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence? Because weekly trend is down in all the 3 stocks. So in the EMA confluence at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter. Weekly supply zone is having weekly EMA confluence or not. We got 2 stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported weekly supply zones. Daily supply zones. But these daily are part of the weekly supply zone. Part means they are overlapped. Okay, this is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence and EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. So removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly. Second filter, daily supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Third filter, weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got only one stock. So in this daily supply zone overlapped with weekly supply zone. Both together overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. So we are not checking EMA confluence. So this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, let us look into weekly income trades. Weekly income trade entry time, weekly income trade bullish trade setup. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone for bullish trade setup. In bullish or bearish trade setup parameter at entry time frame 75 minutes, I am selecting bullish. And for 75 minutes demand zone, here 75 minutes demand zone, we should set three filters. First filter is the 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So that's why in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means the zone is not pierced. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhances score 12. All three filters applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Now we got 9 stocks. These 9 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 9 75 minutes demand zones, how many demand zones are having ITF confluence? Let us verify. Already some of these demand zones are having good high probability to get success because they are high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we are also looking for ITF confluence. That is 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, we got 8 stocks out of 9. That means all these 8 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with their daily demand zones. That means 75 minutes demand zone is a part of the daily demand zone. Now we will look for how many 75 minutes demand zones, 75 is part of daily, that's why daily is having daily EMA confluence or not, but trend should be uptrend. So daily trend, that is ITF trend, the trend of all these stocks are uptrend. So let's verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, we are checking daily demand zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. So these 5 are high probability trade setup supported zones based on LTF and ITF zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF specific. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily. Second filter, 75 demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Third filter, daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. That means in these 4 stocks, this 75 minutes demand zone overlapped with daily demand zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up in first, third and fourth stocks. If those stocks are having weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence, then these 75 minutes demand zones are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. So in the EMA confluence at a weekly time frame, I am setting the filter. Weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence or not. We don't want sideways trend supported. So that's why in the trend on the weekly time frame, I am selecting only uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So 3 stocks are filtered, all 3. So these 3 are even more high probability trade setup supported weekly, 75 minutes demand zones, but they are part of the weekly demand zone. So this is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. And 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value I am setting 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhancer score 12 with all the 3 filters on 75 minutes supply zone. We got 15 stocks. Currently these 15 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zones. We have 15 stocks having 75 minute supply zones, and these supply zones are our entry time frame zones. And among these supply zones, some are high liquidity supply zones. So that means they have some higher success rate compared to the other supply zones. But even then, that is not enough for us. We need to look for even more high probability to get success. That is based on the zone confluence. If these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily, probably they have a little more extra success rate, probability to get the success rate. So that's why I am setting the supply zone confluence for 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence, LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. I enable the filter. With this filter, from 15 the list is come down to 14. Not much difference. In all these 14 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, and daily trend is down in all these stocks because it is bearish trade setup, ITF trend. Because 75 minute supply zone is overlapped with the daily supply zone, if the daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, probably those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Probably these 75 minute supply zones might be having even more higher success rate. So let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter. Daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. With this filter, we got 10 stocks. And these 10 75 minute supply zones might be having even more additional higher success rate, probability of getting success rate. Probability of getting success could be higher. Based on LTF and ITF EMA confluence. And the next filter is LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. Let us look for those kind of stocks. I am removing EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF specific. So in the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily supply zone confluence. Second filter is 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Third filter, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 4 stocks. That means in these 4 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, and both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone in all these 4 stocks. And weekly trend is down for second, third and fourth stocks. And in these 3 stocks, if weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, then these 75 minute zones could be even more higher success rate they will be having. So let us identify EMA confluence on weekly time frame. So EMA confluence at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence or not, and trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways, so it should be downtrend because they are bearish trade setup. So let's filter. We got 3 stocks, all 3. So these 3 weekly supply zones are having even more higher success rate. So this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, we will look for daily income trade. First, daily income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame 15 minutes, I am selecting bullish. We should set 3 filters on the 15 minutes demand zone. First filter is a 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. So with these filters, we got only 4 stocks. So these 4 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. So out of these 4 15 minutes demand zones, some are having high liquidity zone, not some, all are having high liquidity demand zones. Out of these 4, how many of these demand zones are having ITF Confluence? Let us verify. So in the demand zone Confluence, I am setting the filter 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. That is LTF, ITF, demand zone Confluence. All 4 stocks are filtered. That means in all the 4, these 15 minute zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in all the 4 stocks, ITF trend. If 75 minutes demand zone is having daily EMA, probably those stocks might be having even more higher success rate. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence or not. So with this filter, we got 1 stock. So this is even more high probability trade setup supported demand zone. Okay, fine. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone Confluence. Let's go back. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone Confluence, we have to set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone Confluence. Third filter 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these daily demand zones are, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is only uptrend, only 1 stock. If this is having daily EMA Confluence, daily demand zone, then there are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, at daily time frame, daily demand zone is having daily EMA Confluence or not. So we got the stock. So M&M is even more high probability trade setup supported zone. So this is about bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 15 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting bearish. And we should set 3 filters on 15 minutes supply zone. First filter is 15 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12. All the 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes supply zone. Now we got 15 stocks. Currently these 15 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. Out of these 15 15-minute supply zone, some are having high liquidity zones. We can also further filter based on the zone confluence to find high probability to get the success. First filter is LTF ITF supply zone confluence, that is 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 15 we got 14 stocks. That means in these 14 stocks, these 15 minutes supply zones are overlapped with 75 minutes supply zone. Okay, 75 minutes trend is down, ITF trend in all these stocks. If 75 minutes supply zone is having daily EMA, probably these 15 minutes supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. 75 minutes supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. With this filter, we got 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, all the 75-minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. But these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. That's why these 7 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay, apart from these 7, apart from this filter, LTF and ITF, next filter let us apply LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. All the 3. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, that is 15 minutes with 75 minutes zone confluence. Second filter, 15 minutes supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter, 75 minutes supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in 3 stocks, first, fourth and fifth. If any of those 3 stocks are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at daily time frame, I am setting the filter. Daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not, and also trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways, so it should be downtrend because it is a bearish trade setup. We got all the 3 stocks, so these 3 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So this is a bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Okay, next we will generate hourly income trade reports. So first, hourly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish, and the 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, not 15 minutes, 5 minutes. 5 minutes time frame, minimum value should be 0, maximum value should be 0. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhancer score 12. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. Currently, these 4 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minutes. Out of these 4 5 minutes demand zones, some are high liquidity zones. They have a little extra higher success rate. But we should also add even more success rate. We need to find more success rate supported stocks. First filter is based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 4, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. And 15 minutes trend is uptrend in all these stocks. If any of these 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, maybe they could be even more high probability to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. 15 minutes demand zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. With this filter, we did not get any stocks. Okay. Now we will look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. And in the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 5 minutes with the 15 minute zone confluence. Second filter, 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Third filter, 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. That means in both these stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. That means all are part of 75 minutes. And 75 minutes trend is up in only one stock. If this stock is having 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence, then probably this 5 minutes demand zone could be a high probability demand zone to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 5 minutes time frame, 5 minutes demand, in the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame. Why 75? Because 5 minutes together with 15 minutes are part of the 75 minutes zone. That's why we are looking for 75 minutes demand zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. And trend on the 75 minutes time frame should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So we did not find any stocks having EMA confluence. This is bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame is 5 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish, and 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhanced score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 5 minute supply zone. Let's filter. We got 10 stocks. So currently these 10 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame is 5 minutes. Among these 5 minute supply zones, some of these supply zones are high liquidity zones. They have a little extra higher success rate. But that is not enough for us. We need to further look to get more success. First filter is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Let us verify. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. And 15 minutes trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. If any of these 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, probably those zones may get even better success rate. Let's verify. EMA confluence, 15 minutes time frame. I'm setting the filter. 15 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. We got 1 stock. So this stock might be having more success rate compared to the others. But this is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. So next filter is LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. So let me remove this ITF EMA confluence. We should focus on HTF now. So in the supply zone confluence, I should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 15 minutes with 75 minutes supply zone confluence. Second filter, 15 minutes supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter, 75 minutes supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. Not directly, 5 minutes with 15 minutes, both together again with 75-minute supply zone. 75 minutes trend is down in only one stock. If this stock is having daily EMA, maybe this supply zone could be even more high probability trade setup supported zone. Let us verify if this zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. 75-minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not, and trend on the 75 minutes time frame should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Let's verify. So we got the stock. That means this 75 minutes, this 5-minute supply zone is having even more high probability to get the success. It is only probability game. You should not forget that point. So this is about bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. With this we have completed income trade reports. And on the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list indices, remaining all are equity stocks. I keep on scrolling the list down, whichever the stock you want to refer, there you pause the video. After that you can proceed further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.